niching down that they say is so important in starting your business and running your business.
Sure.
It's, you know, you can offer X, Y, and Z, and you know you can help with this, and you know you can help with that. Picking one thing and saying, this is my lane and I'm going to stay in it, I think has been my greatest weakness. I always want to, someone says, can you do this? Well, yeah, I can. Am I the best one for it? Maybe not. I might know someone else that could do it a little bit better, so I should just send it away. But if I could quickly help you with it, type it out real quick and send it, then I do that. And I need to work more on really niching and staying focused on one offering. That's probably my biggest weakness. I want to do too many things.
Yeah, I can relate with that one. Yeah, I'm also a perfectionist and a control freak. So, yeah,
perfectionism is a problem.
Yeah, and wanting to control everything is even worse when you combine it with that, because, you know, basically I want to do everything myself and have a hard time handing it off. So that's my little
delegation will bury you every time.
Yep.
Lack of, I should say.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, everybody tends to have a good place that they go to come up with ideas, you know, whether it's singing in the shower or walking their dog or what have you. Do you have a particular place that you go to get your ideas? And if so, where is that?
You know, a lot of them come when I'm doodling. It doesn't tend to matter the location. If I sit there with a piece of paper and just kind of start drawing lines on paper, things will come to me. As far as where I get my best ideas, probably at home. I like to sit in my living room, and I like to sit with my family, and I like to write, and I like to doodle and draw. But I think anywhere where you feel safe and comfortable, I think you're going to generate better ideas, and you're going to generate more creative ideas. In my office, the ideas that I generate are a little bit different. If I'm at my desk and I'm in front of my computer, the ideas that I generate are often very technical, and they're often very process-driven tools for people to use in their business, work ideas. When I'm at home, it's processes for my business. How can I reach out to more people? What do I want to achieve? They're more philosophical in nature, as opposed to tool-based. And so I think a lot of it is the atmosphere you're putting yourself in for idea generation.
Yeah, it's interesting that you were kind of describing, you know, when you're at home, you're coming up with those high-level ideas. So what's the process behind what you do in your business from a high level?
The process? From a high level, I help other business owners to figure out what it is that they want to do with their life, who they want to be, and how to get there. So, like, let's say we'll use woodworking, for example. Say you're a construction company, you build these beautiful tables and chairs. Okay, great. So that's what you do from a product level, but that's not all of who you are. So if I'm helping you as a marketer, I want to know what your brand looks like. Who are you as the carpenter, and why do you create these things? You don't create tables just because you create tables. You create tables because you're passionate about families sitting down and sharing time together. You're passionate about creating memories and traditions. And so as your marketer in branding, that's how I'm going to focus your messaging, is we enable you to leave a legacy. We enable you to create memories. You know, we exist to bring family to the table. And so I want to help people to see you as a person. And so whenever I look at marketing, that's what I look at for people, because that's why they're going to hire you. They're not going to hire you because this brown table looked nice. I mean, some of them will, but that's not for the most part. You can buy a brown table from anywhere, from IKEA. Why are they going to spend more money to buy your brown table? Right. Because they like who you represent and how you come across. That's what makes a strong brand, is when you can make someone feel something.
Sure.
And so when I think about working with new clients, it's what do I feel, and how can I make them come across in the best light? And so that's always the brainstorming I start with everybody. And then it's, we've decided what your core values are and who you're going to talk to. Now, how do we make that come across? What tools do you already have in place? What systems do you have, and what do you need in order to move to the next level? You might only have a Facebook page. You need a website. You need somewhere to sell things. You might be only doing social media, and you need to branch out into your local community and do some networking events. there's a mix that you have to find in order to be successful in your business. So my goal is to help them figure out the appropriate marketing mix for them to move forward. And it's different for each business.
Sure. Yeah, and a very good answer to that, by the way.
Thank you.
So if you were to tell me something about you personally that, maybe a truth that those that know you would not agree with because maybe they don't know about or whatever, was there something about you that nobody would agree with that actually is the truth?
Truth that nobody would agree with. I am huge on, this is going to sound really bad, but that perfectionist aspect. Mm-hmm. And I think that it is really important to always put out your best work. I would rather push something out a little bit and say, can I have an extra day to work on this, than to give you something that's half-assed because it's not going to perform as well. And so in order to combat that, I start early, I work late, because when you have a deadline, you have to meet your deadline. But I'm very big on it should be your very best at all times. They say that, perfectionism is perfectionism is, I don't even know. If you're striving for it to be perfect, you'll never get it done. It's right. Something similar to what that adage is. Mm-hmm. You should submit something so that you have it done, as opposed to worrying if it's perfect. And I think if you constantly believe that and you constantly go under I just need to get this done, you're never going to put out your best work because you're going to settle for less. You're going to say, if everyone's okay with this level of work, that's what I'm going to constantly put out. I think that's a terrible way to look at it. I think you should always strive for perfection and strive to put out your best work at all times. If you can look at something and say, this is not my best, you should rework it and you should redo it. And I think a lot of people tend to say, okay, well, this is just enough. And I'm going to make sure that this is just done as opposed to being well done.
Yeah. And Tamara, I 100% agree with you. Like I said earlier, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm 100% on board with that philosophy that, I try to, like you, I try to put out, the best 100% possible. And, obviously that's why I have a receding hairline as well, because, I do that to a fault sometimes. Is there
makes much longer hours?
oh, absolutely. So just kind of to wind up our time this morning, is there anything, maybe that you wanted for our listener to hear from you today, before we close it?
You were talking about legacy, and I really like the concept and I like the idea. And I don't think enough businesses focus on what legacy they want to leave. They focus on how much money they can make right now, or they focus, I'm going to make $100,000 a year. And I want people to have a higher mission or a higher purpose. Think about what you can do and who you can impact. So I always tell businesses to have a charity, have a sponsorship, have something in their community that they donate time to, or materials or money or whatever it may be. Not everyone in their starting business can donate money, but you can always spend an hour or two. I teach and volunteer at a local high school. I teach advertising to students in construction, nonetheless, because that's something I'm interested in. I teach them how to own their own businesses. And it not only enables me to leave a mark on these kids, but it makes me feel like I'm doing more than just making money for myself. Mm-hmm. And it changes how you think about your business. And so I would leave everyone with the concept and idea of legacy, and to find something every day outside of yourself that you can devote attention to, at least a little bit.
Yeah. That's a great response, and certainly a great way to end our conversation this morning, Tamara. So I appreciate your time and your willingness to come on the program, and give our listeners a little bit something to chew on and think about today.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
And thank you. I look forward to having you again sometime in the future if you'd like.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, James.
Great. Thank you.